Welcome to Big Blend Radio's second Friday food, wine, and travel show with Nancy and Lisa. You know us, we're the mother-daughter travel team on our Love Your Parks tour, and we publish Big Blend magazines. By the time this airs, everyone will know now that we are now publishers of 9 digital magazines because we're crazy. So you can keep up with that at bigblendmagazines.com. But every second Friday, we're very excited because every second Friday we get to interview travel destinations and also travel writers, all belonging to the International Food Wine Travel Writers Association. And today, our show focuses on Medford, Oregon. That is out in the Rogue Valley. It's in Southern Oregon. And you can see we've got 2 great guests joining us again, Ashley Cates and Eli Matthews from Travel-Medford. So Travel-Medford.org is the website. And also for the International Food Wine Travel Writers Association, you can go to ifwtwa.org. So welcome back to the show. Good to have you both and to see the beautiful area that you're in. Summer's opened up, Ashley. We were just talking that a little earlier. Summer's opened back up for you guys. Are you excited?
Yeah, super excited. Thank you so much for having us. First of all, it's a pleasure to be with you ladies as always. We were just mentioning before we came on air that we, Southern Oregon has 200 days of sun. So I know you guys are up in Albany right now and you're not experiencing the heat, but I am, and I was fanning myself earlier. I had this wind action. But yeah, we get 200 days of sun down here, and that's a big factor in our agricultural producing elements that we do here so well in the Rogue Valley. Specifically in the wine industry, as you can see behind me with a vineyard. We have the fastest growing wine region in the world, and we have the most planted vineyard acres 2 years running growth in the state of Oregon. So that's really exciting for our industry. And honestly, it really does go back to our climate and the fact that we are in this gorgeous river valley that has 3 tributaries.
Oh yeah, nice. and you've got a big national park around the corner from you, right? Crater Lake.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Eli and I love Crater Lake mostly because on the way we can harvest morels.
Morel mushrooms. It is the season right now. I know you know. Actually, I think you've already gotten some. I'm heading up this week actually to start foraging in the mountains myself. So it's a great time of year, the spring, summer, because it's literally this week. It's going to be in the 80s. It's beautiful, and it does look like Ashley's background literally outside right now. So we get the sunshine, we get the beauty, and I think that plays well for not just the quality of wine, but part of wine drinking, at least for me, is not just the wine itself, but it's where you drink it, right? And the scenery and the beauty, and the Rogue Valley has so much of that to offer with our over 50 tasting rooms that we have. So it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's exciting. Nancy and I being back in Oregon. We haven't been in Oregon for since 2012, actually. Wow. And so coming back through here, we drove in through East Oregon. We went up through Sun River. We went hiking to the top of an obsidian field and got snowed on and went, what are we doing? But we did drink wine at the top. And we're thinking of you guys because what seems so neat about the state is that you got like volcanic activity, you've got snow, you've got ice, there's all these different elements, but everywhere looks like a good place to drink wine. So Eli, you'd go up on a mountain and get your mushrooms and drink wine no matter where, right?
I'm literally doing it this weekend.
Awesome.
Well, I'm jealous.
And Eli's kind of the master forager. I've just got my first morels, but he's been harvesting for weeks now. So
wow.
But we're all a little bit secretive about where we're finding them. But you could give a little insight. But.
Yep.
I want to know.
Not telling. Okay, but listen, you got to be careful about what mushrooms you're like picking in.
Oh well, morels are very, very obvious on what they are.
Yeah, okay. I don't know a lot of the different variations, but it's really hard to mess up a morel and what it looks like, because it doesn't look like a typical mushroom. Now they're hard to find because they blend in with the ground, so it's difficult to find. But once you find them, yeah, they're very safe and absolutely delicious as well.
Wow.
What's so cool about that is it's kind of a testament to what we grow here is really everything. Everything just thrives so well here, and we are able, like Eli was mentioning, to pair all of our wine and culinary with adventure. So we don't just have a wine region. We really have a wine and experiential outdoor recreational region. So you can pair your wine with morels, or you can pair it with a hike or Crater Lake National Park or the plateau, etc.
Now I remember, Ashley, the last time you were on the show. Well, no, wait. Now, Eli, you came in the fall of last year. It was right after the unfortunate fires in the region. But everything's, opening up. The COVID thing. I remember actually you coming on. We were like, "Come on, we're having a happy hour party. Come party," because we got it. Well, you can't just be quarantined at home and have no party. Like seriously. But now what does it look like, Ashley, in the wineries? And Eli, I want to talk to you about some of the festivals and sporting events. But Ashley, are all the wineries open and saying, "Come on down, you can actually come in now"?
Absolutely. All the wineries are open in some capacity. We've oscillated between outdoor and indoor over the last few months, but it's looking bright ahead, and it's looking like we're going to be able to kind of slowly and safely move forward into full capacity. But right now, luckily, because we are such an open space here in the Rogue Valley, most of the wineries do have quite a bit of land around them, and usually in vineyards, so it's very pretty. And you can sit outside. So at minimum, there's wine tasting outside at all the wineries, minimum, and then limited capacity inside. And then a lot of wineries are doing reservation only or private dinners and getting really creative in ways to touch the consumer and share our product, even during these challenging times. But I would definitely say, if you're here today or anytime going forward, there's a plethora of wineries that are open for you to experience.
Are any of them doing entertainment? I know, because it's not like we're totally like, free for all. We can, we still have to be careful. It's not like, we need to, because we don't want to go backwards. None of us want to go back to,
Right.
we want real happy hours. So we want that.
Yeah.
But is there any of the wineries opening up with music again and any kind of events?
Yeah, there's quite a few happening, and I think safety is of the utmost importance to not only the wineries, but all of our experiential activities here in the Valley. And we very much want to, retain all of our businesses. We don't want to lose any. So being safe is paramount, while still sharing our products with the consumer. So yeah, people are doing winemaker dinners that are limited capacity. I actually did one last night. Music is every weekend at minimum.
Awesome.
4 different locations that are doing outdoors only, of course, with 6-foot social distancing within the grass areas where people are sitting or putting out blankets, etc. So there's lots to experience when you have a big sky above you, because we know that outdoors is safe, within reason of being, self-aware.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for experience and to come visit still. There's you wouldn't experience a limited opportunity.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Very
Nancy, we need
nice.
to do detours here, man. This is insane. I mean,
That's my favorite word.
I know detour. We need to go be rogue in Rogue Valley. That's what
I know. Well,
Right, the hot spot.
I know. There it
it
is.
looks very hot.
I know.
Literally and figuratively, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like fun on both sides there with those pictures behind you.
I know. I'd say so. All of our audience listening, you need to go to Travel-Medford-Oregon. So if you're not seeing these pictures up here that we're doing, you can see them on YouTube. But you've got to go on their website and you'll see all these beautiful. Everyone needs to go to Travel-Medford.org and check it out, because it seems like you've got something going on, some kind of experience for families, wine enthusiasts. But the sports, that's something really interesting too, because sports has been, especially during COVID, the stop, start. You're playing basketball in a bubble. Are you bubbleless, except for champagne and wine, right? Sparkling wine.
That's right.
But Eli, what's happening in regards to sports and athletics?
Yeah, so as you know, and I think we all can attest to, people have been extremely cooped up the last 14 months, and it's really neat to see out there this kind of renewed energy as businesses and wineries and even sporting activities start to wrap up and wind up. So we're thrilled because some of these events are starting. Some of the larger tournaments are coming back into town. For instance, we have a large one this next week, the Rogue Memorial Challenge, 135 teams coming into town.
Wow.
And again, and I think I spoke to it last time, we have the U.S. Cellular Community Park here in Medford, 132-acre world-class sports park that has 15 fields and 1.4 million square feet of contiguous AstroTurf. And we host a lot of events. Before COVID, we had over 1,400 teams come in from out of the area to participate in these activities. And youth sports is one of our pillars, and it's a huge industry. It's a $15 billion industry in America. And people obviously come and they bring their families. And then in between the sporting activities, I know a lot of them, I've seen them out there, with their parents, and the kids are wearing jerseys, and they're at the wineries, they're at our restaurants. So I think it's going to be a real positive thing to see that come back. We have other activities that are starting new. I think of the end of next week, we're having a big first annual pickleball tournament here in Medford, over 270 teams, for instance, and pulling people from out the area. So it's really neat to see kind of the world starting to open back up, but also people, including myself. I think I lasted okay the first 7-8 months, but then I just hit a wall where it was so weird to, Zoom fatigue and all these online meetings, is that I need to get out. I need to see people. I need to experience and kind of live life, right? And I think for us, some of our leisure travel has become synonymous with our wine industry, and there's a lot of overlay and over connection with leisure travel, but also sports, as these families and people come to our community to go to these events and go to these sporting events in the evenings and the weekends. They stay later and they experience all that we have to offer in the Rogue Valley.
Yeah. What about business travel too? Because I know we've done some travel in some of more of the convention style hotels and everything, and they're saying, well, it's slowly coming back because Zoom fatigue is real. I know we're all Zooming today, but no fatigue because there's wine around the corner. But in regards to business travel, do you see conventions coming back? I mean, sports, that's kind of in that same bracket for your hotels.
Yeah, a lot of it, we've been real fortunate here in Medford and in Southern Oregon compared to a lot of the West, especially the rest of Oregon, is that, we're not a giant city and we're not a teeny town. So we're the type of place that people really exodus to and want to experience because of the outdoors, because of the natural beauty. So we've had a lot of not only visitation, but also even in-migration for people, moving here. So our occupancy numbers didn't get hurt as much as most of the state. So on the business side, we are seeing a comeback and we're rebounding. It's not as fast as the leisure, because I think, again, people are cooped up and they're just making it happen. A lot of the business and protocols have certain standards. Some of them are starting to open up and getting away from Zoom meetings starting this summer. I've heard even some that are waiting till the fall. But it is ramping up and it's slowly opening up, and our hotels are getting full. We even have in Medford, a lot of new hotel development happening. We have 2 new hotels that opened up this month and more coming. One of those I had a meeting yesterday on is the new Margaritaville. We're getting the first Margaritaville in the state of Oregon. They're actually building it
good.
Right now. Yeah, and another Compass hotel connected with it that's going to be done spring of 2022. So we're gearing up for that, and that's really close to U.S. Cellular Community Park. So when those teams and families come, that hotel is going to be booked always.
Wow.
And you guys are so easy.
A really cool nugget about the U.S. Cellular Fields that Eli was saying, he mentioned the continuous AstroTurf. It's actually the largest continuous AstroTurf complex in the nation, which is pretty cool. And then I did also want to just tap into non-traditional sports as well. We have so many assets here where sporting is not in a box, right? We really have almost any kind of sport you could think of. We have opportunity and or associations and or leagues around it, which is just another huge piece to what we do here for these sporting events. They're coming in for kids, softball, soccer, etc. But then the family can go raft the river, right? Or they can go zip line, or they can go rock climb, or they can, obviously hike, and all these different really cool non-traditional sports that sometimes we don't even think about as sports, but they are.
Well, pickleball, Nancy, what was it? Cornhole. We can play cornhole, right? Hey, listen.
Uh-oh, here we go again.
I just have to say that every time we get it. Is that really a sport? Is cornhole a sport?
It's on ESPN.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
hey, see?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. What about practice, Lisa?
I know, right? What about golf and disc golf? Because we've watched that and we've seen that over COVID, that golf courses started to get busier and the younger generation got involved, and also disc golf and foot golf, and there's all kinds of throwing some kind of ball somewhere or whacking it.
Wow. I think Eli could probably speak to golfing because he's a golfer and I'm not. But we do have 9 golf courses and they're fantastic. But that's about all I know.
She drinks wine and watches.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, golf's one of those things you can be obviously outdoors and having fun, but it's also like a lot of group sports. It's very interactive. It's social, right? You get to spend 2, 3, 4 hours with people out on the links. So it's also ways to get a lot of business done too and build relationships. So I know the golf courses, as it's been ramping back up, have been extremely busy. And like Ashley said, we have 9 beautiful courses, awesome. And some that are even getting some redevelopment taking place on them. And it's another huge asset for us. And again, another draw and attraction for people that travel for golf and come and they want to experience as they travel, just like wine tasting, they want to experience what our region has to offer. So that's one other thing that we showcase.
And also right now, I think a lot of people are traveling because they haven't seen their family and friends for so long that it's like, let's get out there and go see everybody again. So I see it picking up that way. And you guys are on the big corridor of the West. You've got Interstate 5 running right through your backyard, right? So ease of, getting, how far are you from the interstate? Like what, a few minutes?
We're on it.
You're on it. I need to look at a map.
It goes right through the city.
Okay, I need to look at a map. So you got that, but then also what about airports and, because, air travel's still going.
Yeah.
And picking up.
Air travel took a hard hit, when COVID hit, but we've been on the rebound ever since. We're very fortunate in Medford that we have the regional airport here in Southern Oregon, MFR. And we actually just this month, we got our 12th destination came in. The new airline in America, Avelo Airlines out of Burbank, Hollywood, is flying to 11 destinations now. They just opened up and Medford's one of them. So that's going to be our 12th flight, direct flight into Hollywood and Burbank, which is great because their region down there, there's over 4 million people in that area, while our whole state just has over 4 million. So we're going to be able to capture a lot more people in visitation. And I know a lot of people, including Ashley herself, that's already been on that flight.
I saw that on Instagram.
Ah.
I saw that champagne in a hotel room, Hollywood style. She's all yeah. I saw that. What you doing down there? You
gotta work hard, play hard, right?
Like
quick weekend trip.
Did you bring people back up with you? Get on the plane.
No, honestly, my husband and I just hopped on a flight because it was $54 round trip. It's the direct flight.
Wow.
The service is impeccable. The planes are awesome. And they fly on Thursdays, Sundays, and Tuesdays. So you can leave, and Thursday is a night flight, or evening flight. So you can leave after work on Thursday and have a little bit of a long weekend, and then you're back Sunday afternoon, which is the perfect timing. Because a lot of times these more affordable airlines, it isn't necessarily the best times,
right?
Or you have to go on Thursday, come back Tuesday, or and that's a lot more of an ask to get out of town for, right? But if you're just taking Friday off, man, that opens a world of opportunity of discovery, both on their end and our end.
That's exciting because, it's 2 different destinations when you think about it. Going, you were at the beach, you were cycling Santa Monica. Did you go to Venice Beach?
We did, yeah.
Cool.
We were checking the boxes. I had never been. I've been to LA, but mostly for work and kind of confined as a harsh word, but kind of confined into conference spaces. So not a lot of discovery and exploration happening. So I wanted to make the most of my days down there, and we hit it all. We did it all, and it was great.
Well, that's what I think is so great.
I was touting Medford the whole way. I'm like telling everyone who listen.
She's like, we're going to bring the wine down there, but it's such a different landscape. If you think about Southern California to Medford and Oregon, it's just as a whole, it's, so different. Do you see that kind of happening? People come up there. What about transportation? Once they get there, get off the airplane, is it more Uber, Lyft, car rentals? What's it like?
It's really easy to get around in our area. We don't have any traffic, so that's probably what the first, because that's what I noticed first. I think Eli can vouch on that. I think if we have to wait for like 30 seconds, we're like, we don't have any traffic, so everything's really accessible. The valley is 70 miles long and 60 miles wide, so everything is within a 25-minute drive at max from Medford because we're the heart of the valley. So you can really kind of base camp here and then get to anywhere you want to see and to check all those boxes, right? And then we have a ton of transportation options, whether it's car rental or Lyft or Uber or whatever
limo.
other riders.
We want the limo.
Yeah. And
Yes,
we have great
limos.
chauffeur services too with Bravo and Wine Hopper and Road Tours and a lot of chauffeur services if you want something more private or for a larger group. It's very easy to move around for sure here.
I like that. I like that. Get on a plane, arrive, and then you have a tour company take you around, a limo. I mean, that's the way. You know,
Yes,
no
it
drinking
is.
and driving, just, you know, float around the Rogue Valley.
That's right. And you can land and walk out of the airport and you can be wine tasting within 10 minutes. Like, and that's not an exaggeration.
Wow.
Well,
I like that.
That's
you know, we're all crunched on time in life these days, right? So it's great that you can really maximize every minute that you have here. And I think that obviously that's a tribute to our open spaces and not as much population, and there's a lot of accessibility.
Did anything change, like during COVID? A lot of times, like, and it was really difficult, especially on restaurants. Some places you really struggled, and then some said, okay, well, I'm going to use this time to renovate or make the changes that I couldn't do because we're always so busy. Did anything, like any change happen, you know, positive change and improvements in the area over COVID?
Absolutely. Ayla, do you want to talk to that?
Yeah. I think as it relates to the restaurants, you know, I think we're very similar to probably most communities, right? Where there was the good, the bad, and the ugly, and all things being equal, I think the ones that hunkered down and got to survive through this are in the process of rebuilding and getting on where it's not survival mode, but it's time to thrive mode. So we have some of that, and a lot of them, of course, had to adapt. We have a lot of ones that switched to outdoor dining and outdoor seating, and I know that's common all across America. So, you know, they pivoted and adapted where they could. And as it relates to other businesses, what's so unique about our area, and Ashley mentioned the heart, you know, and that's why our tagline is for Medford is heart of the road, because we really are the regional hub, not just the transportation and lodging, but also as it relates to being a great home base. And from here, you can go out. And as Ashley said, within 30 minutes, you can be in a world-class nature. You could be on a river. You can be wine tasting. You can be participating in all kinds of hiking and outdoor adventures. So I think a lot of businesses took this time for planning. And right now, Medford and the Rogue Valley, we have hundreds of millions of dollars in development that's taking place, all kinds of buildings going up, thousands of houses are being slated to be built. As I mentioned, a large amount of growth and in migration. So there's a lot of, it's as hard as COVID was and there's been a lot of exciting momentum for our region. And we're poised, especially in the years to come, with these new businesses coming to town and with the growth, to be even a lot more successful. And these are some of the things we have to celebrate, right? I mean, this is why right now May is Oregon Wine Month. So we've been celebrating since May 1 across the state. And part of that is not just, you know, hooray for the winemakers, but also for letting the customer know and our own people know the importance of ag and wine in our region, what it's producing, not just for jobs, but also getting our name on the map across this country. Because, you know, Oregon, the specialness of Oregon wine is really not a secret anymore. People are becoming to know it in a great way. And we want people to not only participate in it where they're out of state, but we want that attraction and that visitation. And we're getting it more and more.
There's nothing like, it's nice to taste like Oregon wines if we're somewhere in Idaho, right? Or wherever, Arizona, but there's nothing like actually being in the place where it's produced and seeing, you know, the growth, you know, seeing, you know, there's so much work. Ashley, you know about how hard winemaking is. It's expensive and it's hard. It's blood, sweat, and tears, but man, those tears do produce some good wine afterwards.
They do. Well, and I think that's one of our identifying factors that kind of sets us apart as a region, is that when you go to the wineries here, you're typically going to talk with or interact with the owners, the winemaker or the farmer, the viticulturist. All those people are the same people that are operating the front end, right? They're doing production and they're also doing the front end. And that is because 99% of what we do is family owned and operated vineyards and wineries. And 90% of Oregon wineries produce under 5,000 cases. So we are very hands-on, very craft wine, and it's all about the vintage to vintage and pure varietal expression, and really showcasing what we do here. And I think that you can't really experience that any better than on the vineyard with the winemaker, with the owners, because that passion pours out of the bottle, right? It's not just the wine. And then you're able to make these really cool memories and have stories to take back with you. And you'll always remember that experience when you open that next bottle, which is really cool. And I think, you know, like Eli was saying, a lot of people, business entities, like wineries, are starting to shift to outdoor dining and tasting. And our downtown has done that too. And luckily we have great leadership with our city, and we've been able to open up parklets and bring out kind of, you know, more of that French style dining out into the streets, which we never did before. So I think there was a world of opportunity in evolvement as society when going through this. And I think it's really impressive to see the businesses, including the wineries, of course, but across the board, adapt so strongly and with such perseverance. And then also this huge camaraderie came about, and support as a region for each other, and neighbors helping neighbors and farmers helping farmers. And that's a big piece of who we are, and our personality as a community. And we hear that people feel that when they visit. You will hear that a lot. Like, you guys are everyone's so nice, everyone's so humble, everyone's so open armed. It's kind of like we're everywhere you go, kind of being welcomed into somebody's house, if that makes sense.
No, that's nice. I think the eating outside and having your wine outside is just, I prefer it. And I think that's something, you know, I hope that sticks around. I think there's a level of experience. I mean, we traveled, you know, during COVID, you know, we went to over 20 states during that year safely. And, you know, we pet sit, you know, in the middle of all of this, just so that we have, you know, we actually know what it's like to live in a community, which is really a different level of travel. And we're helping people travel by doing it. But you know, there's something about not being overcrowded and having a better experience. And I think we learned about that. It's almost like, you know, we had the slow food movement. Now we're having kind of the slow travel. I feel like it's like we're learning about the importance of experience. And, you know, how many times before COVID did we all get together? We're on the phone, not really connecting eye to eye, having that true personal experience. And then COVID hit, we're like, oh man, does this suck? We want to go back to, we want that. And I hope we just people keep that, you know, keep that magic moving.
It's European. When you go out now to eat, it's very European, and I like it.
I think it's awesome. And I think it's kind of, I've heard the reference of like the Great Reset, and not necessarily in terms of business, more in terms of our thought process, right? Like how we interact and where we spend our time, and how we're able to be present in the moments that matter. And I think that was a needed reset on us as a society. And, you know, Eli and I are like serial optimists, but like he said, you know, it got hard for us too, even though the whole time we're like finding the silver linings and like always trying to pull out the positives. But it is hard, that, you know, what we all went through as a nation and as a global this last year was difficult, and it really put into perspective what matters and where we want to spend our time, money, and energy. And I think people are moving towards spending their time, money, and energy in places where they can be present and have really impactful experiences, and where they can create memories that is overshadowed by, you know.
And I think abundancy comes out of that, because, you know, we've talked about, we know about the quality of our wine, and we spoke about the location, right, in terms of scenic beauty and participating and drinking wine outside. But the other section of this, and I think we're talking about it, is also, you know, people. I mean, we say often in our organization, right, we're in the people business, right? And I don't know about you, but I think one of the greatest ways to get to know somebody is around a table, right? The eating and drinking and the culinary delights, and in vino veritas, right? Sipping wine and getting to know people. It's been a lost art, especially in America, especially the last 2 decades. And as I said, I think a lot of that's turning around, even in the younger demographics of saying, hey, we're going to take some time. while social media is important and I see online, there's nothing that beats face-to-face in building real authentic relationships. And when I look at my world travels and my good friends, I mean, that's through experiences, right? It's one of the only things I think we own as human beings, right? Is memories and time. And at least for me, a lot of my memories are around food and drink
And
those experiences.
And mushrooms, not the magic
mushrooms.
And mushrooms.
Yeah,
And
happy and Medford, but I think we've become more conscientious and conscious travelers, and I think when we talk about tourism and when you're talking about growth in an area, Nancy, I think you did like a 10 article book almost. We should just publish this on tourism excellence and responsible tourism, and what is responsible tourism, because there's communities that are going through growth and one half of the community says, don't you let more people come here, we don't want to be Disneyland. No offense to Disneyland, but it is about having that balance, and it's about attracting the right traveler to your destination, and so that everyone is enjoying the experience. The locals should enjoy the visitors coming in because they're connecting and making friends and sharing an experience. So that's kind of where I'm hoping tourism kind of goes in that mode, responsible tourism, learning about history and wine and hiking and nature, so that we kind of slow down, enjoy the experience, and that way the locals and the visitors have a better connection.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think responsible tourism is definitely the trajectory that Oregon at large is pursuing. And we have, again, great leadership on the Travel-Oregon level, and they are instrumental in empowering our tourists with the tools that they need to be responsible tourists. And we reiterate that in our messaging as well. And really I think it's a shift in society too. That people are just being a little bit more responsible and respectful. But I think referencing the history is another big piece to that, because you really can't fully understand or be immersed in experience unless you understand where it came from and the background of it, right? Kind of a fun tidbit about the wine history here is the first vines and winery in Oregon were actually in the Rogue Valley in the 1800s.
Oh,
that's a fun fact.
Nice.
And it's cool to see that, it's like the first vineyard ever in the Rogue Valley is right there. Like it's right there.
I want to see.
And the first winery ever in the state is Valley View, and they're still operating today. And so you can go to the first winery of Oregon ever and still taste wine. So there's really cool ownership in knowledge, I think. And it empowers you to communicate further to people and like Eli was saying, around the table. So great conversation starters when you have depth of knowledge of a place.
It creates value, and we don't want to lose value. And I think that's the thing, is we're starting to understand our value systems a little bit better as we travel and have these experiences. So, you really do savor that glass of wine, because at the end of the day, that wine goes away. And that really sucks when you find the best wine you like. That's my worst thing. It's like you really find a good bottle of wine and then it's like, sorry, the grapes didn't produce the same thing as last year, but we got something new. So that's exciting.
That's why you have to stock up.
Yeah. Stock up.
Stock up. Yeah. I mean, I definitely think there is value in understanding, because when you go somewhere, you have to visit somewhere to understand it. You have to understand it to respect it. And then when you respect something, you tend to start to love it. And then once you love it, you'll protect it. Right.
Exactly.
So it's about bringing the tourist all the way through that funnel. And the only way to do that is through experience and messaging and giving them the tools and empowering them to take that journey.
I love that.
That's what we do. Literally.
That's how we do with our tour. Our Love Your Parks tour is going out, because love your parks means also don't love them to death. It's about going out and having those moments, no matter what size park, whether it's, Crater Lake or, hey, your sports park, it could be, parks. Now we know how important all parks are, so that's an important thing. But before we go, you guys, I know that you were saying, Ashley, that there's something new happening in October.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot.
You can.
we're basically, this is a great segue. We're basically encapsulating everything that we just talked about on this show into a festival. And we're calling it the Heart of the Rogue Festival. And it's an inaugural year. It will be an annual festival, but this is our first year out of the gate. It's October 15th and 16th. And basically what we're doing is bringing everything that is exciting about this entire valley into downtown Medford. So that you can really come and experience and learn about our region within a festival and a couple blocks of the city. And there will be live music and wine and beer and food and vendors. We have a huge collaboration of local crafters and makers where we do a lot of handcrafted goods here. So it's a great way to support local, but also just to get to know what the options are here in the valley and what you can do on your trips and when you visit or when you're here for business or tournaments. So October 15th and 16th, it's kickoff party on the 15th, Friday night, and then all day on Saturday. The website is www.heartoftheroguefestival.com. And we are really excited to launch that new festival.
That's awesome.
Sounds
And
fun.
Eli, you're going to have a booth selling mushrooms.
Exactly.
That'd
Another
be
neat
fun.
part about this festival too is we're actually going to be in partnership with the Rogue Marathon, and Bikes and Brews is going to be going on at the same time. Now the Rogue Marathon, it's a half marathon and full marathon. That's actually a Boston qualifying marathon that's going to end in downtown Medford at this event. So if you're a runner, check it out. And then if you do the road biking and you like beer, we're going to have the Bikes and Brews during the same time.
I'll cheer you all on.
Yeah,
there'll be wine.
No way.
Yeah, we'll have the Rogue Valley Vintners out there with the wine.
That's right. Thank you I almost forgot that. Thank you for bringing that in. And that also reminds me, one of the other huge reasons why we're doing this is to really inject all of those people downtown and support our businesses downtown, because they're our core and we wouldn't have the fabric of the community without them. So we'll have at least 800 people from the Rogue Marathon that's going to be injected into downtown at 11 o'clock when they're all done running. And then obviously a lot more in visitors and spectators, etc. So we're really excited to bring that level of foot traffic to those businesses downtown.
That's important, especially after COVID, is to really do what we can to support our small businesses, the downtowns. Especially now you're doing what, mid-October, so you're right before the big holiday season thing. So like start your holiday shopping. See, here's the thing: we don't need to do the Black Friday drama anymore. We can start shopping in downtowns and enjoy wine, enjoy live music, and then by the time the holidays show up, you're all taken care of without the drama. No drama. We don't want the drama. Gotta have fun. Enjoy the shopping experience. So everyone, again, Travel-Medford.org. Is that the right? Have I got it right?
You got it.
Travel-Medford.org. Also keep up with the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association. They're awesome. Whether you're a destination, a writer, photographer, a winery, ifwtwa.org. I love following them on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, because you get to see destinations around the world. And we love our second Fridays. We get to find out places like Medford and Rogue Valley. So everyone, again, ifwtwa.org, and keep up with us at bigblendradio.com and bigblendmagazines.com. Take your pick. We've got 9 of them. Thanks so much, guys.